I didn't expect to be showing you guys a pretty rare factory sealed handheld console today, but we just happened to get one, along with a bunch of other really cool things in this pickup video. So make sure you grab a snack, grab a drink. This one's probably not gonna be quite as long as my normal pickup videos, and the reason for that is that I have to get this one done basically now so that I have a video when this video goes up. If I hadn't filmed this, there wouldn't have been a video that day because I'm taking a video game hunting road trip with my friend Cody. I own Double Jump Video Games. He owns Pink Gorilla along with Kelsey. And we're doing a road trip. We're doing Seattle, Portland, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Cleveland and Columbus, Ohio. It's gonna be really crazy. The time that this video goes live, I should be gone already, and I'm planning on filming multiple SNES Quest videos on that road trip and whatever else I can. So with that said, let's just jump into it for today. Starting off, you guys know I always try to go with like the weird promo stuff, toys, things like that, save the games for last. And I have these little, this is a pop socket, and these are, I think they're like little magnetic bookmarks, but they are Pikmin. And this is a collab between, I guess, Nintendo or Pikmin and what's the place called? It's like, I can't read it because it's too small, but it's like Kura Sushi or something like that. There's a location of that restaurant about 40 minutes away from us, and one of my employees and friends, Ariel, she went there with some friends and for like a birthday, and she got a bunch of extras of these, and so she gave me these, which is super cool. I would love to get the rest of them. There's not that much Pikmin stuff out there, and I'm a big Pikmin fan, so these are really cool. Shout out to Ariel for giving those to me. I also have just some random Spectrobes cards, which I found these in the DS game. Like one of them got traded into our store and these cards were in there. I already have the game, of course, so I was like, well, I'll just take the cards and put them in my copy. I'm not 100% sure if these originally came with the game or if it was something separate, because when I look on eBay, the ones that do have cards, they either have different cards than these or they have a different amount of them, which is kind of weird. I have 4 of them here, but some of the listings on eBay will have 3 or 6 or just, you know, different stuff. So if you know anything about these, let me know. My only guess is because they have a lot of Japanese writing on them is that maybe it was like some sort of cards from a Japanese arcade. I don't know, but if you have any information, let me know. But for now, I'm just gonna put these in with my DS copy of the game since that's how I found them. I do have a couple figures here. First one is a Legend of Zelda figure where Link is fighting the mummy. And these little like diorama figures are official. This is from 1988. So this is a couple years older than I am, but this thing is super cool. I have a couple of these around the game room. I don't know exactly where they are right now, but they did a bunch of these little diorama figures and they are really awesome. I love those. And then kind of in the same era of figures, I ended up getting this little Luigi, little rubbery vinyl figure. I have some Mario figures that I think are from the same line as this one because they're the same size, same like style and you know, everything. But I didn't have a Luigi one, so this is really awesome. If you guys do not know, I love Luigi. He's one of my favorite Nintendo characters. Anytime we play like Mario Kart or Mario Party or anything like that, I'm always playing as Luigi. And then 2 last ones here. I got King Hippo and Little Mac Punch-Out figures, which are also older. It either says 1988 or it's so small, but also they like paint over it. I think they're late 80s. It's kind of hard to read it, but these are really cool. And this one here, I was actually looking at because a vendor at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo had one of these, and I really wanted to ask how much it was because it didn't have a price tag, but he had a bunch of other figures around it that were all priced at like $30 or higher, and I was like, man, I don't really want to spend at least $30 on just one little figure. And I'm glad I didn't, because then like 2 weeks later it got traded into our store as part of a big collection, so that was super cool. All those figures came from the one collection that someone traded in, which was really awesome. I also have a couple of these aren't really necessarily new to my collection, but this is the first time I've actually brought them home. These are Joy Plus Super Nintendo cartridge trays, and I have 2 of them here. And they basically sit flat on the table. As you can see, they kind of angle the games towards you. And these are not official. They may be officially licensed, but they're not produced by Nintendo. It's by a company called STD, which is great. You can see maybe right here on top of the Pokemon Snap Station, I have one of those little black cartridge holders for NES games. And in that, I just have like the Mario games, the Zelda games, Kirby, Excitebike, Mega Man, stuff like that. The games that are a little bit more popular, and if I was going to just pull a random game off the shelf to play, it would probably be one of those. And I have them stored out of the boxes just for easier access. So I was thinking of using these for something similar. So I'd probably put the Donkey Kong Country games in there, the Mario games, stuff like that. And I've had these for quite some time. They've been in our storage unit for the store. And we've been trying to get through some stuff at the storage unit, cleaning things out. So I brought them to the store and we got them all cleaned up. And there's a little bit of damage and cracks and stuff. Like this is broken off right here. One of the other ones, like this one, has a crack on it. But it'll still work for what I'm planning on using it for and what it's intended for. So those are pretty awesome. I don't really have a space for them just yet, but I'll figure that out after this video when I go to put things away. So that's it for like the weird kind of stuff. I do have that one factory sealed handheld console, like I mentioned, and then I have an accessory, which I'll get to, later in the video once I get to that. But for now, let's go with some games here. So first off, I have two original DS games. Nothing too crazy, but we have Plants vs. Zombies, and this includes the slipcover, which I didn't know if I had this game or not, but when I saw it with the slipcover, I always have to check that kind of thing because the slipcovers are a little bit more difficult to find. And then I looked it up in our collection spreadsheet, didn't have the game at all, so that was perfect to add to the collection. And the other one is Trauma Center Under the Knife 2, which is kind of a pricey DS game. It's around like $65 or so. And it's kind of interesting because I thought it was going to be a lot cheaper because most of the Trauma Center games are like 10 to 15 bucks. But this one in particular is expensive for whatever reason. And we did not have that in the collection, so had to add it, of course. Another one that I'm very surprised we did not have in the collection. And it's not because I don't care about it or anything like that. It's just, it's so common that I just never thought to check to see if we actually had it or not. And this is actually the first game in the entire franchise that we're adding to the collection, which is extremely surprising, but it's Sly III. And kind of in the same way that I checked my collection because of the slipcover on Plants vs. Zombies, I checked my spreadsheet for this one because it had the 3D glasses in here, which I've actually never seen before. And I was like, man, I actually brought just these glasses home because I was going to add them to my personal copy. And then when I was looking at the shelf, I was like, we really don't have any of the Sly Cooper games? What the heck? And so went back to the store the next day and brought home the entire game just to keep it as the little full set here. And people assume sometimes that like my YouTube channel name or my internet persona name, whatever you want to call it, is SicCooper, which it's not. And they think it's like a play on Sly Cooper, which I've never played a Sly Cooper game. My YouTube channel name has nothing to do with that game or the franchise. The name of the channel, just for those that don't know, SIC was an acronym for one of my old bands that I was in high school. It was Spear Induced Carnage, death metal band. And so it was just the acronym of the band and then my first name, which is Cooper. So the YouTube channel name is technically pronounced SicCooper. So there it is. We have one PS1 game we're adding to the collection as well, and that is Machine Head. Not a very expensive game, but fairly uncommon. Don't remember, I've heard of this game in the past, but I don't remember seeing it come through the store, at least any time recently, so had to snag it. And then let's get into the Nintendo Switch games, because I always have the most to show for Switch over everything else, and that's just because there's so many games coming out, and we get most of the games new at the store. So I always make sure to order an extra copy when we're placing an order from our distributor so that I can add one to my collection. But we also get stuff traded in here and there that I'm like, ooh, I've never seen this game before. We definitely don't have this. And then I add that to the collection as well. So first up, let's go through the big box stuff. With some new releases, we have the Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 Remastered Deluxe Edition. Nice gold foil box there. I played through all the Tomb Raider games on PS1 with my dad when I was a kid. Can't imagine they're great to go back to with the weird like tank controls, but I had a lot of fun doing that, and he loved those games, and it was more of me watching him play. But if he was having difficulty with a part, if he couldn't make a jump or whatever, he would hand the controller to me and then I would do it. But that was when, you know, I was like 8 years old or something, so that was a very long time ago, but super fun. We also have Blazing Strike, limited edition it says on the side. And we have the Farmagia Day 1 edition. This one just came out. I didn't realize that the Day 1 edition for this was going to be in a big box with, looks like it has a soundtrack and an art book, which is pretty cool. But everyone says this game looked horrible from the Nintendo Direct, so who knows if it's good or not. This next one was actually traded into the store, and this one, I have the standard version of the game, but I didn't have the limited edition. And this is like really expensive for some reason. It's the longest name ever. Shin-Chan, Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation, The Endless 7-Day Journey, limited edition or collector's edition. It's got a cool little like dinosaur on the front. But this one is opened, which is perfect. That's how I like to get my games. I just keep them sealed until I'm ready to play them, and I will swap them out for open ones if I can. But this one does have some creasing and stuff on the box, which is not a big deal. It does have everything originally included with it inside the box here. Even though it doesn't really fit, it kind of bulges the front of the box out. But for some reason, this game, the collector's edition version, is like almost $200, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure it was like less than $100 when it came out. And I feel like it didn't even come out that long ago, because I remember getting copies for the store, which is why I have the standard edition. And yeah, it feels like it was only maybe like a few months ago. I might be mistaken, but either way, expensive for whatever reason. Next, let's go to the regular copies. Got this big stack here. So let's go through. We have Neon City Riders Superpowered Edition. We have Moon Scars. Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. RPG Maker. It says with, but I feel like it's maybe not pronounced like that. I don't know. Just seems weird. Conscript Deluxe Edition. Super Mario Party Jamboree. I have not had a chance to play this one yet. My copy is open because I do plan on it. And I let Colton borrow this because he doesn't buy a lot of new games. He does a lot of digital stuff, but he wanted to play this one. And he brought it back like the next day. So I think he played it a little bit. I don't know how he liked it, but we've been hearing really good things from customers about that game, so I am excited to try it out. I love multiplayer games, but I'm not going to play it by myself, so we're going to have to wait till we have game night. We have Sonic Shadow Generations Day 1 Edition. We also have The Bridge Curse 2, the Extrication. Looks way too scary for me. A Little to the Left Extra Tidy Edition. We have Ys 10 Nordics. Since Memories Off the Starry Sky. Weird title. We have the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead Retro Realms double feature, which looks really, really cool. It's like 8-bit style horror games, which is awesome. They also, I don't have it here now, I'm just realizing, they did a version of Halloween that comes by itself in a big box with a plush. I also have that, which I guess you'll see it in the next pickup video, but for some reason I didn't bring it home, so it must be still sitting at the store. We have the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Heard good things about that. And this one, Balatro. This is the special edition, I guess. But heard good things. It just looks like a card game, but I don't know. We have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. We have the normal version of the Tomb Raider Remastered. This one I cannot pronounce. Naheulbuke Dungeon Master. However you are supposed to say that, I do not know. You can let me know in the comments. We have the regular copy of Blazing Strike. Excuse me. We have World of Horror, which looks really, really cool. I like the, I don't know, like almost like Microsoft Paint looking art style, but it's got like a bunch of booklets and paperwork and stuff in here. We have another new release, Wild Bastards. We have Romancing Saga 2. Harvest Days, just another crappy farming simulator probably. Gory Cuddly Carnage. And then this one I thought looked really, really cool, Core Keeper. This one's definitely going on my list of games to check out in the future. And then another one that I want to try is Police Simulator Patrol Officers. Looks pretty cool. So that's it for the Nintendo Switch. Let's go over to, let's do Super Nintendo next. Normally I like to kind of save Super Nintendo for last because that's the console I'm currently focusing on, but I mainly just have condition upgrades here, with the exception of this first one, which is cartridge only. And this is the Michael Andretti's IndyCar Challenge. And I already had the box of manuals, so now I have the cartridge to pair together. The other ones, like I said, they're all just condition upgrades. So anytime we get boxed cartridge games in at the store, meaning NES, Super Nintendo, 64, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and I guess Virtual Boy, even though that never happens, I bring them all home so that I can compare condition to my personal copy, and I put whatever is in better shape into my collection, whatever I'm getting rid of, we take back to the store. So this is a very big perk of owning a store because it allows me to basically make sure that my condition or my collection is in the best condition possible. And I've been able to do this hundreds of times with different games. Some things I've upgraded multiple times, so they just keep getting better. So that's what I did with these. The first one is a regular cleaning kit. And I don't have the other copies here to show you the difference, but some of these, like this next one, Miss Pac-Man, my box of Miss Pac-Man, this one's in really nice condition, but my other one was so bad. It was like completely crushed. All the sides had creasing, like little rips and like worn edges and corners, and it was really, really bad. So that's a very nice upgrade. Also, we have Warlock, another really nice upgrade. And then the last one we upgraded was Indiana Jones Greatest Adventures. So normally I don't even show the condition upgrades that I do to the collection because it happens so often. Usually at least once a week, I'll have a game or two that I'm upgrading like that, and I don't put them into the pickup video because I don't want to just show the same stuff every time. But I felt like with the Super Nintendo stuff, maybe it's a little bit more special. That is the console I'm still focusing on, so maybe it makes sense to kind of highlight those a bit more, because condition upgrades for Super Nintendo games are probably not going to make it into an SNES Quest video. So if I want you guys to see what I'm doing, I have to show it here. So there we go. Moving on. Let's go with Game Boy. We have a couple here. These, the first one, this is the only Game Boy Advance game, and it's a cartridge of Tactics Ogre, and that is used to complete this copy here. So same deal, I already had the box, just needed that cartridge. And then that is the same case with these last two as well. First one is Top Gun, Guts and Glory. And then there's my box to pair it with. No manual in here still, but at least got the cartridge. And then also Mercenary Force to complete this box, which is in pretty good condition. Fairly uncommon game. Happy to get the cartridge for that one and complete it. And then these last three are all complete copies that are just new additions to the collection. First one is Quirk. And these are all original Game Boy games as well, which is really nice. I get a ton of Game Boy Advance games because they're just, for whatever reason, they're pretty common to find in box, but original Game Boy stuff is pretty hard to find in box, so I'm very happy with these. Other one is RoboCop. And the last one, coolest one, we have the Castlevania Adventure. Fairly rare Game Boy game to get complete in box. Very, very happy with it. It's also in very good condition, which is awesome. So, we are almost at the end here. We're gonna go with NES, and then we're going to finish off with the handheld console. So I mentioned earlier that there was one more kind of accessory, and that is this one here. This was also not a condition upgrade. Some people would probably consider it a condition downgrade, but this was a swap out from my collection, and that is an NES 4-score. And we already had one of these, but the one we had in the collection was factory sealed. Like I said before, I don't care about having things factory sealed, I just want them complete in box. So this one got traded in at the store, I brought this home to keep, and I took the factory sealed one to the store. We're going to be selling it, but we are saving it for the new store location once we move. But there it is, got an opened one. And then this one, I want to show you guys, I should have pulled this down before starting the video, but this is one of those cases where I brought a game home to just compare condition and then realized it was a variant, so I ended up keeping both. So the one that was already on the shelf was this one here, base is loaded, and as you can see, it says it includes a free Wilson Sports poster. Now, the poster's not in here, so it is missing that, but this is the one that I brought home to compare, and as you can see, it does not say that it includes a poster. So this is a box variant that I did not know about and decided to keep both. Also, the Jalico logos at the top are different, and on the, like everywhere where the Jalico logo is, they're all different. I don't typically care about extremely minor box variants like the oval seal versus the circular seal, or 3-screw versus 5-screw. I don't care about that kind of stuff. But when it comes to something like this, where the logos are different, this one says it includes a poster, this one doesn't have that, that's a big enough kind of box variant for me to care and add both to my collection. So I just thought that was kind of interesting and kind of cool. I've always seen the cartridges with the different Jalico logos, but I didn't know that the boxes were any different until having these ones side by side to compare. So just thought that was kind of interesting, and I'm happy to add an NES variant to the collection. The last one is technically also a variant, and that is the Left Bros Super Mario 3. This is in very nice condition. Normally, the Bros here for the logo is right here in this empty space, which just by looking at this, you can tell that is a much better placement for it, but some of the earlier ones had it on that side, which they call the Left Bros. And that's really the only difference, but I think it's cool. It's on the front and the back right there. And we've had plenty of cartridges of Left Bros come through the store, but I've never seen a boxed one as far as I know since we've been paying attention. So wanted to add that to the collection, very happy. And on to the last item. So as I mentioned, excuse me, this is a factory sealed handheld, and I've already said it a couple times in this video, but I say it all the time. I don't care about having things factory sealed. The problem with certain items is that I only find them factory sealed. Some stuff you kind of have to get sealed if you want the original packaging, like the Funtastic N64 controllers. They come in plastic blister packs, so getting one of those complete is nearly impossible. It's either loose or sealed, right? That isn't necessarily the case for this one, but we did have somebody reach out through email that wanted to sell this, and they just so happened to have it factory sealed. I would rather add a factory sealed thing to the collection if I don't have it at all, versus just waiting for an opened one, which may never come. Because I'd rather have it than not have it. I would just prefer complete over factory sealed. So if I ever get another one of these in the future that is complete in box but is opened, I will swap them out. I'll sell the factory sealed one and keep the open one. But for now, I have this one in the collection, and this is a DS Lite Special Edition Triforce Phantom Hourglass bundle. And this is one of those boxes where the top or the sides, they're kind of just like glued together. It doesn't come with plastic wrap. It doesn't come with a sticker seal. They're actually like glued together. So the unfortunate thing when you find one of these that is opened, the box is usually pretty rough, because to open it, you have to like literally rip the cardboard. So I have seen a lot of different handheld bundles that are sealed in this way, and the boxes are just always really, really rough. So that's kind of unfortunate that when I do finally upgrade this, it's probably going to be to a complete one where the box is really rough. But to me, that's still better, I think, than having it factory sealed, because I don't care about having it sealed. I will let a sealed collector enjoy this at that point, you know, when I get there, and then I'll just have the open one, even if the condition's not so good. But there's two different bundles of this, as far as I can tell, or at least two different boxes, but I think that there's this one here, which includes the game, and then I think there's a version of the Triforce DS Lite without the game. And I could be mistaken. This was like a couple weeks ago when we got this, and I was kind of like looking it up and doing some research. But at least from what I can remember, it seemed like there were two different versions, and I like to collect stuff, so I'll probably want to get the other version eventually as well. But it seems like this one is the more rare version with the console and the game and everything. So there it is. Really, really cool, rare piece, and one more added to the handheld collection. I think I'll probably do a video soon going over all of the boxed handhelds that we have, which is all just Nintendo stuff, but we have so many. So many original Game Boys, Pockets, Colors, Advanced SPs, and then DS through new 3DS XL. We have so many of all of them, and I think that'd be kind of a fun video to go through and kind of show everything. So maybe I'll film that this weekend as well, because I was going to try to film one other video this weekend, and I didn't really have any plans. That might be a good one. So that's it for this pickup video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Code word for this video, we are going to use the word score from the 4Score here. So if you put that word in your comment, it'll tell me you watched the entire video. And if you did, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.